So a little over a week ago, I made a video where I talked about what Nintendo could do to save Zelda, quote unquote. And you know, I had some ideas that I wanted to share and get off my chest, so I made the video and I had a lot of fun. And you know, you guys did what I expected you to do, and that's you shared a lot of love for Tears of the Kingdom, and you talked about how much you loved the game. I low-key fucking hate Tears of the Kingdom. So your solution of solving the problem of Zelda
Okay,
fans
wow, you're not just asking
dived and
Nintendo
tired
to
of
abandon
Breath of the Wild.
Zelda. Traditional Zelda fans doesn't like Breath of the Wild that much, so how do we
No
please
wonder
them?
why
Holy
you got
shit,
that.
it's
No,
no
God,
content
this
far
video-
on-
Why don't we just pull a Book of Eli and burn all of the Zelda content, leaving nothing but one copy of Highland Historia in Braille for one blind guy to come along and memorize the entire thing and share it with the world. It's all just one bad dream, and we won't make the same mistake again. And we can all agree that Terraria is the greatest game ever made. I mean, the game is pretty good. Jokes aside, I really do appreciate all the support I've gotten on the previous video. And, you know, the hate doesn't really bother me, alright? I'm not insecure about it. I already told you, it doesn't bother me, alright? I'm making the video still, I don't care. I honestly find it funny. I honestly find the hate funny. It's just funny to me. That's how much it doesn't bother me. But something that caught me off guard was just how much people did not like Tears of the Kingdom. Now, I'm fully aware of the Zelda fandom. I already know this game is pretty controversial, but come on, guys. He's already dead. Let it go. Low-key, I feel like the hate has gone a bit out of hand. On release, everyone loved this game. I skipped multiple days of high school just to play it. That's how down bad I was for this game. We were all hyping this game up, and then suddenly 2 months later, everyone was like... So, as Tears of the Kingdom's defense attorney, it has come to my attention that I need to put the haters in their place. So, I'm gonna be responding to all of the common criticisms I see around the community in regards to Tears of the Kingdom, and basically explaining why I think this game is actually peak fire and raw.
It's fucking raw!
Of course, if you have a differing opinion, feel free to leave it in the comments. Psych, bitch! You thought you don't matter.
You don't matter. You don't matter.
But you actually do matter, so I do love you guys, so please subscribe with the bell so we can hit 2,000 subscribers. That would be nice. The storytelling sucks. No, you're right. It does suck. Ooh. We're off to a great start, boys. Off to a great start. Okay, I will defend the storytelling amongst Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom a little bit. I don't think the storytelling for these games are that great, right? Like, we can all get down with that, but neither is any other Zelda game. No! I want you to recount the story of Ocarina of Time right now. Tell me what's special about it. You are summoned by the Great Deku Tree of Awesomeness to go save Hyrule by freeing all of the sages and stopping Ganon. Link goes through no character arcs. In fact, the big three being Link, Zelda, and Ganon are the exact same characters they are at the end of the game that they were from the beginning. There's not much story being told aside from the plot itself. And look, that's not a bad thing, because I think what makes a Zelda story so good despite not being very well written is the world and its journey. Every 3D Zelda game has a very different world to explore with many different characters. And all of these games tend to be over 20 hours long. So spending that much time in a well-built world with, dare I say, perfect world building alongside unforgettable characters is what crafts the story. Zelda stories are what you personally make of it. Weird fact, but it's actually hard to make me cry. And when it comes to playing video games specifically, I think I've only cried about twice in the entire history of playing games in my years. One time was during The Last of Us because damn! And the other time was actually during the credits for Wind Waker. Now, does Wind Waker have a super profound story that has changed my life? No, not really. I could name 10 different games with way better stories off the top of my head. But it was the journey and the world that I spent so much time with that made it feel so special. So what I'm trying to get at here is that I don't think Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom has harmed Zelda's storytelling that much. It's still about the same, like there's not much of a difference there. Unless you're super concerned with the timeline placement, which if you are, that's completely fair because Nintendo, what the are you doing? But I really don't think you would personally like the story of these games if you did not like the world and its atmosphere. I think that's what truly builds a good Zelda story. It's not the storytelling, but the world. And to me personally, I didn't cry at the end of Tears of the Kingdom. It wasn't that emotional. But the story of trying to find Zelda was something that kept me very invested during my playthrough of the game. I think this game has one of the best endings to a Zelda game just ever. There's so much payoff in this single moment of Link diving for Zelda. It's so satisfying. There was no strings untouched and no loose ends. Everything was completed here. Mind you, I took my time when I played through the game. My first playthrough was around 80 hours of playtime, so that was 80 hours of payoff. And when I was done, I was just staring at those credits like, damn. That was a legendary game. Like, it got me all giddy and jolly and shit. I was like dancing and okay, well, I wasn't doing all that. Like, that's a little extra. I even think the voice acting was a great decision, and I think they should go further with it in future titles. I'm not one to like when a franchise stays in one place, and I understand that Link is supposed to be this self-insert character, but in the next game, I really hope they give Link a character and a voice. I know that's probably a very terrible take, but in doing so, I feel that Nintendo could really tell a fantastic and emotional story for once. I mean, look at the Xenoblade games. Imagine seeing Link go through an ambitious character arc like Noah from Xenoblade 3. I want the experimentation, and I want something ambitious like that in a Zelda game. So, yeah, the story's not great, but I don't think it's that bad either. And I think it's good enough to carry the game for what it's worth, and I don't think it's that bad compared to other Zelda stories. In fact, I'd say it's pretty comparable in quality. They just need to experiment more. And speaking of experimentation, grr, the puzzle solving, I can't do it, I can't f***ing do it anymore, Nintendo. You've ruined my favorite game, you won't port Wind Waker to Switch, you've made the squids non-binary, or maybe it was the other way around, I can't remember. You've ruined Zelda! Please, slow down. This is another one of those things where the switch up was insane. Everyone on release was talking about how awesome it was to craft all these weird contraptions and do stuff, and now it's like, wah, wah, wah. Okay, maybe it wasn't all that. I could understand that seeming like a little bit of a bad faith argument. Also, you guys like my nails? I got them done one night when I was having a lot of fun. I was like, you know what, screw it. Let's paint my nails. And then I instantly regretted it and tried scratching it off and kind of gave up halfway through. It's funny too because I work in a warehouse, so all the old people were just looking at my nails in pure disgust. Ew, Gen Z kids and their nails and their platonic furry boyfriends, I can't stand it. I think the puzzle solving in this game is certainly different. In fact, I'd even say it's different from what we've seen from any game ever. The puzzle solving genre has not seen anything this innovative since Portal 2. The fact that there are so many solutions to these puzzles and so many different things you can craft to pass them. It's genuinely perfect. Like, it is perfection. At least the shrines are. I remember when this game first came out, I was in a Discord VC with all 10 of my super smoking hot girlfriends. I was doing the Sky Temple first, and I spawned these little platform thingies to spin the wheel to progress, because I genuinely ran out of ideas on how to solve this puzzle. So I was like, you know what, screw it, let's throw the platform on there and spin. And that's when one of my super hot girlfriends told me, wait, nah, you could just use the icicle, bro. You could just use it. And that blew my mind. I was like actually soy jacking at my screen. And the list doesn't even end there. You can look at any playthrough of this game and you'll see someone solve a puzzle in a brand new way. Were all of the dungeons great? Yeah, I'd say so. Were some of them the best in the series? Not even close, but that's okay, because this is still a brand new concept that I seriously hope they can elaborate more on in the future. The shrines, however, were perfect. I have seriously no issues with that part of the game. There's not a single puzzle that was amiss in this game. Like, every shrine puzzle was just super satisfying to complete and really exercised my brain. And I think that's mainly because in the shrines, the developers were focused on one big long-running puzzle. Unfortunately, though, it seems like they struggled to translate what works in the shrines into the dungeons. Because the dungeons, while they're not bad per se, none of them really live up to even like the top 20th shrine. If we're being honest, the dungeons were, once again, another small letdown. They weren't bad, They just weren't fantastic. But that's okay as long as they give it another shot. I want to see them try again with this concept. They need to perfect these dungeons because I see potential for the next Zelda game having some of the best dungeons ever made. And I'm gonna hope for that day to come. The game has no new content. Okay, well, the people who saying this probably don't mean it in a literal sense. Like, obviously the game has new content. Duh. It's basically in reference to the idea that this is just Breath of the Wild again with new content that is very shallow. The biggest points of contention are the Sky Islands and the depths. And you know what? I'm not even gonna argue with this one. You guys are correct. Oh yeah. We're taking it back with this one. The Sky Islands admittedly could have been a lot better. Now, I won't come on here and say they were all bad because, well, they aren't. I like the idea of discovering different parts to build with from the different Sky Islands. It's a big incentive to explore the skies. You get to build more stuff. I also like some of the puzzles that these islands have. Some of them are really fun, like this one where you get to twist the road in the sky to get this turd rock across. I like the Sky Islands. I really do. But there's a lot of Sky Islands that don't really do much. Should I keep the glasses on? I'm kind of debating it. Like, I've never worn glasses on a video like this before. I feel like I'm revealing a vulnerable part of myself. You got the original Sky Island, which is magnificent and massive. You got the one where you fly through the hoops as a minigame. And you got the weird spherical one, but the rest are kind of just there. Same thing with the depths, but it's slightly worse in my opinion. The depths, don't get me wrong, look awesome. The art style of this area, it's metal. And it's massive. It's another map that's the same size as the original overworld, just underground. That is insane. But all you can really do down here is light up some beacons, find some cool equipment, and maybe gather some resources. That's about it though. Yay! Woo, this is so exciting. Yes, Nintendo. I fully understand where a lot of you guys are coming from. You waited like 4 or 5 years for this game. You expect the new content to be finished. But in this case, it feels a bit undercooked, and I feel the same sentiment. However, if you would allow me to speak with a little bit of copium for just a moment, I personally don't see a problem with it because the game already has so much content to make up for it. Tears of the Kingdom is basically like what Super Mario Galaxy 2 is for Super Mario Galaxy. It took the original concept and completely improved upon it in every single way imaginable. Tears of the Kingdom is basically just Breath of the Wild. They didn't change the formula, it's the same goals, same gameplay loop, same world. However, the thing is that Breath of the Wild is already an amazing game. So adding the Sky Islands, the depths, the better puzzle solving, the better dungeons, the new companions, the fuse mechanics, and the better story, it just overall makes for a better experience in my opinion. So yeah, I agree, the Sky Islands and the depths are heavily underdeveloped, but they're just additions to an already amazing game, so I'm not giving Nintendo a pass for it because obviously I don't want them to take this as a precedent for future games, but I'm also not going to dislike a game for being fantastic. It's a weird thing. It's like, I forget, what did that thumbnail say? The Tears of the Kingdom is a frustrating 10 out of 10. It's like that. It's a frustrating 10 out of 10. Why? Like, this shouldn't be a 10 out of 10. I'm just mad. I'm putting the glasses back on again. In my personal opinion, I think Nintendo had too many ideas cooking up in the kitchen, and they should have stayed focused on the Sky Islands. Completely scrap the depths and just make the skies massive. That's what they should have done, but unfortunately they didn't. There should have been some amazing islands in this game with waterfalls and crazy statues and alien spacecrafts. There should have been so much stuff to the Sky Islands, except it's not. It's missed potential. Oh well, you'll have attempt number 3. Good luck, Nintendo. Okay, so I hit record and I started recording all this and I forgot that I just did not finish the script. I just didn't. I was supposed to make an outro that was structured where I ask you guys to like and subscribe with the bell and hit one of the in-card screen videos right here, but I didn't, so this is my awkward way of improvising this. And it's creating a quirky outro regardless. I hope you guys subscribe. I hope you guys like the glasses.